Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. I'm back at home in my home environment and I wanted to look at the Jeff Bezos affair, if you like, and the National Enquirer blackmailing of him and whether or not Donald Trump was connected in any way at all. There's a couple of questions. How did they get access to Jeff Bezos' texts? For those who haven't been following the story, the National Enquirer threatened to release private photos of Jeff Bezos and his now girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez, whom he was engaged in a relationship with. Now, as we know, Bezos owns the Washington Post, which has been highly critical of Donald Trump and has done some great reporting as well. It's not the first time Bezos has has been the subject of Donald Trump's criticism. But the National Enquirer, as we know, has been almost like a fix-it for Donald Trump over the years, paying for stories so that he wouldn't look bad. He's quite a close friend of, I think it's David Pecker, who is the CEO of the Media Inc., AMI. Okay, now as you know, they've done a deal with. They have been involved in a plea deal with federal prosecutors, receiving immunity in exchange for giving evidence against against Michael Cohen. But let's go back to Bezos, because I think this is really, what we're going to do is we're going to ask if Trump was involved in any way, because what happened when they said, look, we won't publish these incriminating photos of you, Jeff, if you affirm that the National Enquirer's coverage was not politically motivated or influenced by political forces. Now, when we look at that, what they're really saying is we don't cover up for Donald Trump. What does that all mean? I guess when we start to think about how they might have got hold of his texts. By the way, Bezos is, billionaire many times over. I think he among the most richest in the world. He's the founder of Amazon.com. So he's got unlimited resources, which he's throwing into this, and he's launched an investigation of his own. So if these text messages were obtained by who? By Russia, by rogue people in intelligence. How were they obtained? Then I think Bezos will get to the bottom of this. I think it was a really silly thing for the National Enquirer to do, and if Trump is connected to it, then that's outrageous as well. So let's really follow the story down and see what the cards are going to say. So my first question is, how did they get his text messages? Let's see what we can find out. How did the National Enquirer obtain Jeff Bezos' text messages and other incriminating photos of his affair with Lauren Sanchez? How did the National Enquirer obtain these? All right, so they obtained them through hard work. Okay, so the means in which they weren't simply obtained. Okay, so that card suggests to me that there were probably many routes that they took to obtain that evidence. Well, we'll call it evidence. It's Bezos isn't in the court of law because he had an affair with Lauren Sanchez. We'll call it incriminating messages. So, pardon me. So that's telling me straight away they worked hard to get them. I'll bring the laptop down. They worked hard to get the text messages, potentially, through multiple routes. Okay, so it could be almost what we saw in 2016 going to someone who knew someone who knew someone, because I'm just getting that image. Well, in this card, this person is walking down a path carrying a heavy load. What was challenging them? Okay, we've got the Six of Wands here. So this is the Victory card. I read, I'm kind of getting some kind of link here, possibly between Trump and this whole matter, but we won't go there yet because we'll ask that specific question. But Victory was challenging them. Now, this is hard work now for the National Enquirer, and what happened was, I think this is the federal prosecutors. I think that this is the Cohen matter. It's the Mueller investigation. I think Southern District of New York investigations. These are all matters that they are successfully, if you like, starting to prosecute, successfully out in the public domain. And so there was a need to somehow, I guess, get to Bezos because he owns the Washington Post, and his reporters, along with the New York Times, have been doing incredible work. He's a powerful media influencer. Okay, so the focus of the reading is the endings here, and I'm still getting this link with Trump. Okay, endings, and also the damage to the National Enquirer as well. So the National Enquirer in being associated with Donald Trump. So it's almost as if anyone in Trump's orbit, including the National Enquirer, have been scorched, if you like. This is a black earth here, scorched by their association with Trump. And so there was a need to come out and do something quite sensational and get those sensational headlines about Bezos and his affair, but also this blackmail here to suggest the affirming that they have no knowledge or basis to suggest the tabloids' coverage was politically motivated or influenced by political forces. Okay, that's the critical thing here. Now, Bezos has also written a blog post on the Medium site platform, which actually is linking the Post's coverage of the Khashoggi murder, and he's linking that as well. So we're getting almost like these cobwebs to Trump even more in that blog post. Now, at the end of, in the past, we've got this indolence, in this reading, it's around luxury, it's around money, it's around self-government, it's around the money talks. And, in this sense, what is here, but both Bezos and the National Enquirer are both powerful platforms. Bezos, as I said, through the Washington Post and through Amazon. So it's almost like trying to destroy this influence Bezos might have. I think that's where we're coming out. Trump has gone after Bezos repeatedly also. The Enquirer helps Trump. You put the two and the two together. Now, at present, we've got balance here. So the way that I read this is that Bezos is actually trying to balance the scales here. He wants to know how they got those texts, because if it's like chasing a rabbit down a rabbit hole, because I got this winding process as to how they got the text. Bezos is saying, you've got an unlimited budget to his investigators. Find out how they got my texts. Okay, so what are we going to see here? Another Trump scandal. We've got loss here in the immediate future. I'm feeling Bezos has come out and been rather brave in not allowing himself to be blackmailed, and standing up to the National Enquirer and outing all of this. So there's loss here for him, but I think there's also loss here for someone else. Obviously, the National Enquirer is losing out. But what will happen when this investigation is seen through to its conclusion? So the situation at the moment, we've got this really, we've got this Knight of Swords coming forward. And, this is trying to get to the truth. Bezos has everything to gain by following this investigation down. The National Enquirer has everything to lose. Now, if Trump is involved, some media are alluding to it, then obviously this is the truth. The truth will also come out as well, and will have further loss on behalf of Trump. Now, the environment around this question, the devil. Okay, so is this the relationship between Pecker and Trump? The environment around is greed and avarice. Okay, so in the past we've got this kind of moneyed, luxury, indolent kind of card coming forward here. And the environment here is greed and avarice. All right, so as I said, there's great interest in damaging Jeff Bezos because he's a powerful media tycoon. Probably one of the most powerful in the world other than Murdoch. Now, hopes and fears. We've got I think for the National Enquirer, we've got the hope that the smokescreen, the illusion will not be penetrated, that the truth won't be obtained. And I think for Bezos, we've got the hope, I guess, that it will. So fear from the National Enquirer and whoever is the other parties are involved. And for Bezos, he wants to penetrate the illusion to get to the truth. Interesting. And what are they going to find? I think they're going to chase the investigation. Bezos is going to chase that investigation down that rabbit hole to try and balance the story, preserve in some way his reputation, particularly if he turns up evidence that there are, maybe other countries involved in helping the National Enquirer obtain the text. He's hoping that the dirty tricks will be revealed, and this card is suggesting that the outcome of this reading is that the dirty tricks will be revealed. So now we'll go on to see if a foreign government was involved in any way in obtaining the texts. It's never ending. Never ending. All right. Honestly, how they thought that they could blackmail Jeff Bezos. I guess, the National Enquirer. All right, so, what sort of publication it is. All right, so let's have a look if any foreign governments, I'm thinking particularly here, either Saudi Arabia or Russia, were involved in helping the National Enquirer gain those texts. Let's just bring the laptop down. All right, was Saudi Arabia, or Russia were foreign countries, let's put it that way, foreign countries involved in helping the National Enquirer obtain those text messages on Jeff Bezos. Were foreign country or countries involved in helping the National Enquirer obtain those texts on Jeff Bezos. Ooh, maybe Saudi Arabia. Okay, so we've got this proposal that always comes forward in these cheap, what I would call cheap and unsophisticated games that have been going on for the last 2 or 3 years. Okay, I say unsophisticated because they've been found out. Okay, so we've got some kind of offer that someone has brought forward, really to cause the loss, the disappointment, the discontent. So there was some offer here to cause discontent or trouble, strife for someone. I'm assuming this is Jeff Bezos. We've got money changing hands here. So there's been some kind of money paid for this whatever was offered to cause this disappointment. Now we've got the balancing of the scales here, which came forward in our last reading. Now I saw that as Bezos trying to balance things out. However, it seems to me that there was another type of balancing trying to be affected here by someone who offered the National Enquirer something, or whatever deal was done. Somebody's done some kind of deal here, because we've got the Ace of Pentacles, which of course is new income sources. The loss and the dirty tricks, okay? Dirty tricks in order to cause the loss here. Got some major arcanas coming forward. And new starts, okay? So new starts underneath the income. So it seems to me somebody wanted a clean slate. Somebody wanted a clean slate. Let's just keep these here. Foreign governments, okay? Specifically, somebody who had really suffered some kind of loss. So to really address the balance for somebody who'd suffered some sort of loss. And we've got, I guess the intention here is the hangman, really to hang someone up, really to do damage, to cause some kind of harm. Interesting set of cards. And of course the Five of Swords in relation to do harm. Here, this is the card of abuse, really. So, okay. All right. This reading is saying that some foreign government was involved in certainly paying some kind of money in order to get a result, to address some kind of loss that they've had. You saw how the cards had come forth, and of course wanting a clean slate after suffering some kind of loss. Now, because Jeff Bezos is connected with the Washington Post and Khashoggi, my feeling is that the dirty tricks could have come from Saudi Arabia. The financing of this could have come from Saudi Arabia. So I'm going to ask that question because this reading is saying a foreign government has been involved in this. I don't know if I'm correct, but this is what the cards are saying. So let's see if we can get some validation here. Okay, that's my feeling, was Saudi Arabia somehow involved? I'm hearing paid money. Was Saudi Arabia somehow involved in the paying of money to obtain the texts that the National Enquirer accessed from Jeff Bezos? So was Saudi Arabia involved in this? Were the Saudis involved in this Bezos affair in any way? Saudis, Bezos, text messages. I wanted to cause some kind of... now, don't forget, WAPO has been running a campaign on the Khashoggi murder. We've had Congress condemn it. We've also had the Democrats ask, now I think the deadline's expired, I need to follow that up, ask the White House who they thought may have murdered Khashoggi. And we know the American intelligence agencies have said the MBS was involved, the Saudis were involved. Okay, Trump hasn't necessarily accepted his own intelligence agency's findings. So we've got wanting to cause sorrow, wanting to cause loss, wanting to cause sorrow. We've got the Chariot, things coming forward fairly strong and fairly quickly. Now, I always go back to Roman times when you had charioteers fighting fighting a battle, and this is what has been done. So perhaps potentially Saudis again. And we've got the secrets and the treachery of the moon. I'll just bring the laptop down here. This is looking like it's, here we've got these smoke screens which came up in the hopes and fears, wanting to penetrate the smoke screen and then fearing that it would be. Okay, so this again is the wanting to cause loss using some kind of smokescreen to do it. I think Bezos is right on the money when he has said that this is in retribution, and he's tied this to the Washington Post's coverage and support of Khashoggi. Here we've got the same. We've got the truth. We've got Bezos now digging to get to the truth. And we've got the Ten of Cups here. What sort of secrets here? The Ten of Cups comes around really supporting. I see this sometimes as the House of Trump, but in this reading, I see this kind of as money dynasties, and the links between them. The alliances, I guess, between them. So there's an alliance here in this reading. Okay, and it's all about protecting someone. This is security, protecting money security. We've got the treachery here. We've got Moolah here as well. Moolah coming forward. So it really is a web, a lot of hidden things here. And we've got the lovers coming forward, the relationships between all these parties, all these alliances, nefarious alliances. Was it the Saudis? Was it the Saudis? Okay, justice. Oh dear. Okay, so we've got not wanting justice to be done, but at the same time justice being a very important part of this reading. I think that in the end, I mean, this is celebrations, the Four of Wands. In the end, I think it will come out exactly what has gone on here, and we've got the Trump card coming forward as well. This is the smug merchant. There's a lot of money involved here. This could also be Bezos being successful. So this reading is saying that the Saudis, foreign governments, potentially the Saudis, have in some way been involved in this whole National Enquirer affair. Now, my last question here, bear with me, viewers, is has Trump been involved? Has Trump been involved? What I sensed when I started this reading, this is a rabbit hole. This is like... It wouldn't even surprise me if Russia was involved as well. But this is kind of like the alliances, and how desperate must they be to try and blackmail the owner of the Washington Post, the National Enquirer. It's like, okay. So is Trump involved? Has Trump been involved in this? Is he involved in it? Did he know about it? Did he ask for it to be done? Is the President of the United States in any way involved in this rabbit warren of, as the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is he involved in any way, even if he just knew about it? Is he involved in any way in the exposure of Jeff Bezos and his affair with Lauren Sanchez through the obtaining of the text messages? Donald Trump, Bezos, text messages, National Enquirer. Okay, so we've got the Fool. We've got the Fool coming forward here. We've got Justice, wanting to see some sort of justice done. You know, so we've got the Saudis and Khashoggi. We've got Donald Trump and the Washington Post, and continually being critical of Bezos, wanting to avoid chaos and ruin here. Oh my God, three major arcanas working together in terms of this teamwork. We've got the Empress wanting to achieve some kind of abundance. And we've got the Five of Wands really wanting to throw up obstacles in the way here to avoid ruin. I'm going to keep going. We've got the partnerships, nefarious partnerships. Who have we? Or just alliances, nefarious alliances. We've got the theft, trying to get away with something in the dead of night. And we've got, really wanting some kind of victory here. To protect financial security. Sorry, I'm just, loans and debts. Who owed whom what? Okay, so this is showing that he may not have said do this, but it's unclear as to what he knew and when and why, okay, because these cards are showing really the alliance is trying to get away with something. Who owed who what? Loans and debts, protecting financial security, throwing obstacles in the way, trying to avoid justice, trying to avoid ruin. Okay, my feeling is that Trump benefited obviously from the besmirching or the smearing of Jeff Bezos. He would have potentially benefited also if Jeff Bezos had affirmed that the National Enquirer's coverage was in no way politically motivated. So there's a definite benefit here for Trump. It's suggesting loans and debts, okay, and it's suggesting money being paid. So even what these cards are saying is he didn't order it, but what has gone on in the past, it's that in the network and the web of these relationships that may have led to the benefit all around for all these parties if Bezos was succumbed to the blackmail. But he didn't. So we'll leave that there at this point in time. It is, I guess, the standouts in this reading is that these cards are suggesting foreign influence here in obtaining those text messages. I think it's one to watch because Bezos is a very, very wealthy man and he is not going to stop. He's not going to stop until he gets to the truth. So what's hidden from us at this point in time is we've got the hermit here, and this is isolation. And again, this comes back to Trump, whether he directly or indirectly benefited from this whole situation. It comes back to what the situation is for him now, and increasing isolation and potential loss. I've always seen him at the end of the day. In one of the very first readings that I did, I tuned in to how he might be fast forward a couple of years, and I saw him in exile, really. So we'll leave it not physically in exile, but really being isolated at the end of the day, being the hermit at the end of the day. All right, I'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed that, viewers, and thank you again for all your support.